Hi everyone, welcome back to the channel, and I'm sorry if you can hear my brother being loud. In today's video, that was the chair by the way, it's really squeaky, we are going to be talking about books of shadows, an extremely important topic for all Wiccans, witches, pagans alike, and I thought I would cover it today, but quickly I would like to say that this is Himalayan salt. I forgot to mention it in my last video. It was sat on the table the whole time and I just didn't talk about it. So that is what this is. Now, books of shadows. Super squeaky chair. What is a book of shadows? So a book of shadows is a book in which Wiccans, pagans and witches record all things that they learn, experience, correspond with, are connected with in their path. And it is an extremely important and easy tool to have. It's also very personal, so a lot of witches would not want to share their book of shadows, but I'm going to do a quick tour today, just to give you a bit of an idea of how to start. So, before we get into my book of shadows, this is my practice book of shadows, and I cannot stress how important having one of these is. Because my first book of shadows, I did not have a practice one. I just wrote everything straight into the real deal, and it was a complete mess. And I've actually got it here to show you in a minute. But a practice book of shadows like this is so important because you can scribble down everything that you think you might want to put in there. You can scribble down everything before you fact check, before you experience it. If there's a spell that you want to try, instead of putting it straight in your book of shadows, put it in here, then try it, and then put it in there after you've used it, if you want to. So it is super, super, super important, and I have almost finished this book. There's so much in here, and my actual book of shadows is not even halfway done. So that is how important it is to have one of these, because a lot of the stuff you won't want in your actual book of shadows. So please, please, please always have a practice book. Now, this is going to be a bit of a laugh. This is my first ever book of shadows, which I started when I was 13, I'm now 15, and it is a complete mess. It's a beautiful book, that's why I wanted this book. It is from Warwick Castle, one of my favourite places on earth, and I just fell in love with what it looked like. But it is such a mess, like my handwriting, I did not take care in anything, and it, oh, honestly, it's terrible. And there's so many crossed out things because I did not make sure that I wanted them in here. But we're going to have a bit of a giggle at it. So, here we have a sigil that I designed myself, can you tell? And it's just sellotaped on for protection. Yes, that's what that is meant to be. Then this page is my front page, which I stuck these on, which was a mistake because then I could not write on this page throughout the entire book because of these. So it's all just on one page. And it is so messy. And I've even cut things out of it and stuck in my new one. Look at that handwriting. It's not great. Oh, really. By the end of it, I started to get more serious, and I started writing in pencil instead, and trying to be more neat, but it was a bit far gone. This is the only time I've been happy with how a pentacle turned out, and I could not do it again. I'm not good at drawing. Yeah, so that is my first one, and it's quite, you can't even close it. There we go. Have a bit of a laugh at that sometimes. But this here is my current Book of Shadows, which I'm super happy with how it's turned out. I started this in April 2019. It is now May 2020, so it's over a year later and there isn't a great deal in here, but I've taken my time and I'm like pleased with how it looks, so I'm quite happy with it. So I'm going to give you a little brief tour of what this looks like. I'm really sorry about the chair, it's a nightmare. Oh. Right, I think it's going to squeak now. So here we have my front page. As you can probably see, there's a whole bunch of mess underneath this picture, and that is because I tried to press dry flowers onto it and it did not work out well. There was an issue with the glue and I just stuck a rose over it, so yeah, silly me. So in your Book of Shadows, it is incredibly personal to your craft. There are going to be things in here that you don't want in yours, or there's going to be things in yours that I don't have in here, and it's because with Wicca and witchcraft and paganism, whatever it is, my favourite thing about it is how it's so personal to you, and it doesn't matter if you don't completely follow what other Wiccans follow. Like in my first one, there are things in there that I don't care about because I saw them in like the general Book of Shadows and thought, I need it in there. You don't need it in there. If you don't connect with something, do not put it in there. It's really simple. But for me, this is my Book of Shadows and I'm a Wiccan. So there's a lot of things based around Wicca in here. So on the first page we have crystals and their properties, with just some basic crystals. We then have herbs. Darn it. A page here has fallen out, which is just fantastic. So we have herbs here, and then here, there we go, here we have candle colours, and this book is very much loved and it's falling apart a bit. So then we have the Wiccan Reed. Now again, if you're not Wiccan, then you wouldn't want this in here. Even if you are Wiccan, you might not want it in there. But for me it's very important. So I have the Wiccan Reed, all of it. Then have deities, Latin names for spellbook, all about the pentacle, moon phases, protection spells, sleep spells, luck spells, and page, that's a bad word, kitchen witchcraft, and these are all the planets, their symbols, their correspondences, and I've coloured it all in, quite like that page. We then have my elemental pages. I now recognise earth as my main element, but when I did this I thought that water was, so there is more in water than there is earth, but we have earth, air, fire, and then water, and there are 2 pages on water, because like I say, I thought it was my main element. Then have a brief introduction on zodiac signs, and I'd just like to say that all the topics in here I'm going to make a video on separately, but this video is just a little brief overview of what is in my Book of Shadows, a bit of a tour, and I really want to show you the ones that I made myself. So that is what this is. We've then got all the zodiac signs. I'm going to skip through them because you probably know them. If not, I'm going to do a different video on them. And here we have a diary entry. Pretty sure I missed a page. Yeah, my birth chart and then diary entry. And we then have Lady of the Moonlight. This song is beautiful and I meditate to it a lot. You can find it on YouTube. And now we have the Sabbats. This is the only time I've ever used pen in this book and I regretted it instantly. I used pen to go over the lines and I hate it, but oh well. So we have all the Sabbats now. and I've tried to make it so that the colours get darker as they go along. So we have Imbolc and Ostara, very light, bright colours. And then we have 𝍊𝑋�𝍊, my personal favourite Sabbat. My boyfriend was born on 𝍊𝑋�𝍊 as well, just saying. Here we have 𝍊𝑋�𝍊, then 𝍊𝑒𝑚𝑢s and 𝑚abon, and then Samhain, which has 2 pages. And now I am working on the Esbats, which follow the moon. And we have the January wolf moon, and now I'm going to do February here. And that is all that's in this book. Over a year, and that is all that is in this book, because I've taken my time and I have put so much in my practice one. Like a ridiculous amount is in here. And I can't even begin to go through it. But that is my Book of Shadows. Now, as you could see as we were going through it, it is very generalised. It is just got the general crystals, herbs, candle colours, the Sabbats, really basic stuff. Now, for me, I want a separate book for each topic, like a specific topic. So that is what I've done. These here are books that I have made myself, and I'm planning on making some more. This was the first one I made, and I followed along 𝍊𝑋�𝍊𝑒𝍆𝑟𝑎 video. I can never pronounce it, but love her. Gosh, my brother is loud, I hope you cannot hear him. So obviously her books are like half the size, but they are a lot thicker. But for me, I wanted them to be this size and thinner. So I did follow along her video, but not exactly. I changed it quite a bit. Since my dad has been off work, he let me use his shed to tea dye the leaves, which is so nice of him. The leaves? The pages, you know what I mean. And they are sewn in. My brother is an absolute menace on the Xbox. So this book here, the first one I made, is going to be just for herbs and flowers and herbal magic. Book of Shadows, herbs and flowers. That is all that's going in here. So it's very small, but it's just going to have herbs and flowers. And the theme of this book is sunflowers. And I'm super happy with how it turned out, especially as it was my first one. Now this is the one that I made a few days ago, and it's a lot more simple. But I love the colours. And there's a little mark on it, oh well. And this book is for the Fae and other mythical creatures. And this theme is daisies, so I'm going to have a small little book for each topic that I use a lot. So I have a reference for each specific topic, and then my general Book of Shadows is just going to be the general things in Wicca. So I've got my herb one, my Fae, I'm going to make a crystal one, and I'm going to make a divination one, and then I'm going to see if there's any more I want to make. There probably will be, but these two are the ones that I wanted the most because they're what I'm looking into the most at the minute. And yeah. On this one I have the contents at the front because of how small the book is. Same with this one. However, with my general Book of Shadows, the contents is at the back. This is because of how big the book is, and I'm not even halfway through and there's already this many contents. So I thought if I did it on the first page and I needed to go on to the next one, it would already be filled in. So in this one it is at the back, but because of how small these are, it is at the front. And I love this book so much. I think the colours are so pretty, and I'm really happy with how it turned out. So these are my books, and I'm so happy with them. And as they get more content put into them, because there's nothing in them at the minute, I want to make sure before I put them in, I will give you a tour of these as well. And I'll probably do an updated tour in the future when there is more in my Book of Shadows, because now it's pretty simple and basic, and all of the topics that are in the Book of Shadows, I will do a separate video on each of them. I just wanted to give you an overview of what they are. And I've decided to do, I don't know if you've watched Barbie and the 12 Dancing Princesses, great film, but they all have a book each that is a flower, and I kind of wanted to use that idea. So my herb one is going to be sunflower themed, this one is going to be daisy themed, and I think my crystal one is going to be rose themed, and that's how I'm going to do it. And then they're all going to be on a shelf, and I can just grab the specific topic, and that's how I've decided to do my Book of Shadows. So I hope that you enjoyed this and you got a bit of an idea of how you want to do your Book of Shadows. And yeah, I'm sorry it was a bit of a mess. I think my next video I'm going to either do one of the topics in my Book of Shadows, or I'm going to give you a tour of all my crystals and show you all the ones that I have, which is going to take a while. But thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed. If you want to see more magical videos, then subscribe below. And I'm not planning on having it like this all the time. I would like to have my face in as well, but I'm using my phone, and if I want to show you stuff, it's a bit difficult to also have my face in. So maybe in the next one I'll figure out a way to have my face in as well. But thanks so much for watching. If you want to see more, subscribe, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye guys!